Okay, and welcome to lesson 2. Today we're going to be going over directory busting. Now, for this video, we're going to be going over 4 different tools for directory busting that I like to use and some that I just know of. We're going to be going over dirbuster, we're going to be going over dirb, gobuster, and finally dirsearch. I'm going to be flipping back and forth between our lab environment as well as these slides just to present more practicality, just to give you a walkthrough on how, just get like a visual, a walkthrough on how I go about using them. All right. Think of directory busting as one of the following: either an overexcited SWAT team member with either a battering ram or really strong thigh muscles to kick down the door with a hefty ki, or if you prefer more bass, ki. Now, what do we see when directory busting? We're going to see these 3 things. We're going to find the room, which is going to be our path. We're going to identify who's in the room, which is the files discovered, and are they friendly or not, which are the response codes. And there's 2 friendly response codes to look out for, and then 6 ones that we terminate. We have to look for a good 200. That's an okay. 302, a redirect found. We need to know like where it goes, and this helps us lead us there. And these are the ones that we do not want any part of. 301, moved permanently. 400, which is a bad request. 404, not found. 500, internal server error. 503, service unavailable. And 504, gateway timeout. Now, let us check out our first tool, which is going to be dirbuster. I may have trouble saying directory buster, so I'm going to just use the term buster or bus for those who are fans of the rapper Busta Rhymes. Anyway, moving on. Here is like a more simplified look on how to perform the operation of buster. Hey, sounds kind of catchy. Bustin'. Yeah, I'm going to use that. Here's our overall layout of dirbuster. We can call this by either one out of 2 methods. Either from our menu option and searching for dirbuster. Oops. It's log in here. Once this is correct. Dang you typos! Alright, our first one, which is we're going to look for dirbuster here. You can either search for it here in the search window or simply type in, if I can scroll it all the way to the top, dirbuster in our terminal. Let's get back to our lovely presentation here. And when we open dirbuster, we're going to have these options that we'll need to set. The target, which is here. Set up our threads. It's going to be from here. Do we want to auto switch ahead and get? This is normally set to default. Go faster. This will skyrocket it to about 200, 250, I believe. We're going to specify our word list for this section here. Do we want to be recursive? Meaning, do we want to dig for additional file directories if we could find them? And then what file extensions do we want to look for? Now, this is going to be a mix and match. I like to have as much as well-known file extensions just to cover all my bases, regardless if there's a server that I'm practicing on is either Linux or Windows. Now, the first steps prior to using dirbuster, and this is a lifesaver. Maybe the red ones because those are tasty. Number 1 is we're going to go to the advanced options. And once we bring this bad boy back up, we're going to go over to options. Advanced options here. Go over to dirbuster options, and here we will set our default number of threads. So here's defaulted at 10. I like to go to 100. I like to specify which word list I want to use, which is this one here. And the file extensions that I want to test for are going to be listed here. Now, here's something interesting. Keep an eye on this number right here, 200. See, that's when it says 10. We're going to go okay. Close this out. I probably should not have done that because it was from my example. Oh well, We open it again, dirbuster in command prompt, and oops, whoops, it didn't leave that there. All right, well, sucks on your flap hat, Jack. Well, we're just gonna keep it going. Let's go back to our presentation. And so these were the three steps that I mentioned from that advanced options menu that we just showed here. Now, dirbuster findings. Nice thing about this one is that what it does is it gives us this nice little hierarchical hierarchy. Is that correct? Okay, I hope so. All right. So we have this file hierarchy here for everything that was discovered. So we have folders, and it discovers whatever files that are in said folders. See how nice that looks? So nice and pretty looking directory tree right there, yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Now, if the scan is going too slow, we can easily increase or decrease the threads while it's scanning. So give me one moment, because I have a machine that I have up that I want to show you an example of here. So let's go into our search here, and let's just put this IP address right there and start the search. Now, I'm going to go over to our, still in this window, scan information. I'm going to go right down here. See where it says 10? This field here lets us change the number of threads that this program is running. So I want to change that to 200, and then boom, it changes to 200, and it increases like the threading. So this will make it search go faster. And as you can see, we're pulling up the files and directories here. Here are our results. And if we want to get a nice, good-looking tree view, we get this here. Then we can go ahead and click on that plus sign, and this should pop up. Actually, this is 403, so now it's going to show us Jack. And it would show all the files that would be in that directory there. All right, let us keep going. Now, another cool little caveat is that we have some options that are built into this application. So if we see a request that we like, that we see that's interesting, we go ahead and right click it, and it'll give us one out of these three options, either to open it in browser, view the response from within the application, or simply copy the URL. To get a good look of the viewing the response in the browser, let's go ahead and pop this open here, see what we can find. Got this index.php, view response. And it should open us a window in this application itself. And if not, okay, we tried. So let's keep it moving. Next up is Dirb. Dirb, in my opinion, is more of like the pimply faced younger brother of dirbuster. It's like, yeah, we can include it, just don't say anything about it or stare at it for too long. It's caused me nothing but problems, and it's pretty basic and straightforward, but it's CLI. Woohoo! So what is it and how do we use it? Simply use it. To use it, we use these 4 steps. We call it from the command prompt, specify the URL, specify what word list that we would like to use, and then add other options. So let's go ahead and bring this bad boy up here. And here we have Dirb. Now, I initially ran Dirb throughout with this basic setup, calling Dirb, specifying the URL that we wanted to scan. And as you can see here, it is kind of wishy-washy. It basically blanked out this entire console screen and then just said it found 14. Okay, where? So we're not going to mess with you. So we have this next one that we used here, where we called it Dirb, specify our URL, and we specified our word list here. And look at that. Word list is too large. This will take a long time to... Well, that's not... I don't care. You're supposed to do this stuff, you pimply faced toad. This is why I don't use that. Okay, now, some notes when using dir. That if we just run it as normal, it'll simply run the common.txt file for searching. Now, since common is common and not like the Chicago rapper MC Common Sense, this isn't a good way to get the majority of this isn't a good thing to use the majority of the time. So it's best to use our own custom word list. And obviously, as we saw from the other example, it doesn't really play well with current custom word list. So I dispose of thee into a nearby trash receptacle or toilet, or whichever one's closer. Okay, moving on. Next tool is GoBuster. Now this one is my go-to that I like to use for two reasons. Its speed and its simplicity. Now, how do we use it? Again, we call the program. We specify the mode that we like to use. We specify our flags that we like to use. And we let that bad boy rip. Let's go to an example of that right here. Now here we have two different views of this application and how it was ran. I have where we call the GoBuster. And just to get further clarification here, the options that we have are directory busting, subdomain brute forcing, and virtual host brute forcing. So we specify dir to use directory and file brute forcing mode. Here's that. -w to specify our word list string, which is this one right here. -x, this one is not listed here, but this one is to search for these file extensions, specifying -u, which is our word list, which is our URL, and t to specify our threads that we want to use. Default is 10, and as you see, I set it to 200. Now, here is a kicker. Let me see if this one is in my next slide. I hope so, even though I probably do not think. Actually, yes, I do. Sorry about that. Trying to keep track of too many things at once. Now, what about the noisy output and the error messages that was from the first window? Because I'm getting freaking tinnitus here. This is how we fix it. With a -q. This is another way to say STFU, or quiet. Don't you print a damn thing. No noise. I don't want no banner. I don't want no error message. I don't want this. I don't want to see any of this at all. Want to know what I want to see? I just want to see something nice and clean. That's all. Which is this right here. Straightforward, simple, to the point. Ooh, secret.txt. And gives me all the info that I need. Nothing else. Okay. Now, as we see that with that Q option, and this way we only get the paths that we discovered, as well as like the file extensions. Reverse that, flip it, and then reverse it again. This way we only get the paths discovered and nothing else. All right, customizations with the switches that we have here for GoBuster. Now we have these four that we can use. We can save the results to a file via -o. These are all lowercase. We can specify the threads, as we've seen, with -t. Specifying our word list with -w, as we've seen. Specifying which file extensions to search for, -x. Next up is dir search. Last one. Now, this is similar to GoBuster, minus the selectable modes. This program is default recursive, meaning that once it finds one path, it'll go back again through those same discovered paths and search one more directory up just to see if there's either a path we can traverse or something that we can follow. In lab environments, I want to probably say 8 times out of 10, never going to happen. But it's helpful in live targets because you can still see a directory path since it's going to be more legit. And easy setup, we just simply call the program, specify the URL with -u, specify the extensions that we want with -e, so it's a little bit more straightforward there. Specifying our word list with -W and setting our threads with -T. And for an example that we go and bring up here, here is dir search and the list of switches that we can use. You see we have the URL, E for extensions, -X is to exclude extensions, which is why there is no -X in here. Recursive, meaning like, do we want to go deeper as far as our recursion depth? Same thing for right here, setting our threads. And let me see if we want to add any other data. And reports, this is going to be a little bit different. We have to specify like only one of these if you want to output it to a file. Now, here is where we ran dir search here. As you see, looking up these file extensions, I set the threads to 250. See right there. And these are the file extensions that I was looking for. And see how they match right here. Word list size, obviously. And then here's basically what I'm talking about. So what dir search did was that it ran and it found these 4 paths. And after it stopped with these 4 paths, it went back and started from the top down. So it said, all right, I found this. Is there anything else after that? No. Okay, what was the next path I found? JavaScript. All right, what was in there? Was there any other directories? No. Okay, I found what else? WP admin. Did I find anything else? No. And server status, this is also going to be a little bit of a keynote. Whenever, if you're going through a directory busting application and you see server status, 10 times out of 10, it's going to stop right there. That's normally the last thing that anyone would see before scan would actually finish. All right, so that was directory busting with 4 fun tools there. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. This one went a lot quicker this time. Wasn't a half hour, as I was hoping that it would not be. Good. It was going 17 minutes. All right, so I will see you in the next video. I am Ch1-R0n1n. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for future updates and content. And I will see yous later.